Hey, I am J. Scott Savage, and I am super excited to come here representing the Summer Scares program. I am a children's author, and I've written several series. I wrote the Far World series, Water Keep, Land Keep, Air Keep, and Fire Keep. I wrote the Case File 13 series that I'll be talking about today, Zombie Kid, Making the Team, Evil Twins, and Curse of the Mummy's Uncle. And I wrote the Steampunk Dragons series, Mysteries of Cove. Fires have been mentioned, Gears of Revolution, and Embers of Destruction. And I have a new book that I'm super excited about coming out September of 2020, and it is called The Lost Wonderland Diaries, about a girl with dyslexia and a boy who's a total book nerd who discover that Wonderland is a real place, but of course since I wrote it, Wonderland is now full of monsters. And I am super excited to be an author. I think one of my favorite parts about being an author is coming and talking to kids about making up their own stories and sharing their stories and using the creativity that we all have inside of us. So Zombie Kid is the book that was actually chosen for the Summer Scares program, and it is the first book in the Case File 13 series. And it is a story about Nick, Carter, and Angelo, and their three friends, girls named Dana, Tiffany, and Angela. And the six of them have to compete with each other all the time. They all love monsters. They love Halloween. It's their favorite holiday. They research any kind of monsters or things like that. So Halloween is coming up, and Nick has made the most amazing costumes. They're zombie costumes with beating hearts that they can hold. And they're all excited that they're going to have the best costumes this year. Until Nick's great aunt dies, and he has to go to her funeral in Louisiana. Well, when he gets there, he discovers that there's some really weird things going on with his aunt. He finds this basement full of all kinds of strange voodoo stuff, and he sees this strange cat, and then he discovers that there's a cemetery in the back behind the house in this swamp, a hidden cemetery, and he finds an amulet, and when he gets the amulet and puts it on, it changes him into a zombie. And he and his friends are like, that is the coolest thing ever, because they love zombies. Until he starts to smell bad. He wants to eat his best friend's brains, and his little finger falls off into the mashed potatoes at dinner. And then he's like, okay, this is bad. I don't want to be a zombie anymore. So he takes off the amulet, but it doesn't change him back. And so now he and his friends have to figure out what's going on, what his aunt was doing, where the amulet came from, and how to get it off of him before he permanently becomes a zombie. And I love what Harper Children's did with this book, just all the cool stuff. Inside the hardcover they have these little handprints, and those handprints change with each of the books. And so you can see these are little zombie hands down at the bottom. And at the beginning of each chapter, there's pictures. So here we have our normal Nick, and as we go a little bit through and the story changes, then Nick starts to change through as well. And so we kind of get to follow the storyline with each of those books. So the story of how Zombie Kid came to be is kind of a fun one. I have an amazing agent named Michael Barrett. And if you don't know what an agent works with an author to figure out what they're going to write, help them put it together, and then to get it to the right publisher. And when I signed with Michael Barrett, I actually signed with an entirely different story called Demon Spawn, again, because, you know, demons, it's kind of stuff I like to write. Well, that book didn't sell. It was kind of the wrong time for it. And so my agent called me and he said, hey, so let's just put that on the shelf right now, but what else do you have for me to read? And I said, well, I don't really have anything right now. And he said, are you sure there's nothing you want me to read? And I went, no. Hey, well, I have this one story that I kind of started writing about these kids who love monsters, and Halloween's their favorite holiday, and one of them gets turned into a zombie. And he goes, I want to read that. And I'm like, no, I honestly, I just wrote it for myself. And he said, I want to read it. Send it to me. So I still have the email, like 3 paragraphs of all the reasons why I thought he wouldn't like it. Because I didn't actually write Zombie Kid to get it published. I wrote it because it's the story of me when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I loved Halloween. I would never, like, I didn't want to wear store-bought costumes. I always wanted to make my own costumes. One of the first things I bought with my paper route money, back when kids used to deliver newspapers, was a 6-foot-tall plastic Frankenstein with glow-in-the-dark eyes. And so I wrote the kind of story that made me laugh, and the silly jokes that I liked, and what I would have been cool at that age. But I didn't think he'd like it. And so I sent it to him. And he called me back, and I said, okay, well, let's talk about these other things. And he said, no, let's talk about Zombie Kid. He said, I want you to finish that, and I want you to give me 3 other story ideas, and I want to pitch it as a series of books. And I said, really? You think that you could sell this? And he said, I know I can sell it. And so I said, okay. So I finished the story, and I wrote all the kinds of things that I like, and the cool things that I thought would be creepy and things like that. Because I love scary stories. When I was a kid, like, I loved just scaring myself. We were always like exploring scary places. And one time, do not do this yourselves, but one time we crawled under these pipes, under the sewer, and like crawled for about a mile. And it was late at night and during the summer, and we popped up the manhole cover. And as we started to climb out, and we were like totally covered with dirt and everything, we looked over, and there was a kid sitting on his front porch, and he looked at us, and we like looked at each other, and we said, hello, we're the sewer rats. And he's all, Mom! And he ran in the house. We still like hope we haven't permanently scarred him. But I sent it to Michael. I finished the stories. I wrote it. He sent it off. And a week later, HarperCollins contacted us and said they wanted to publish this book. And so I'm so thrilled that there are kids reading this book and sharing it, and that Summer Scares decided to promote it. Me like books. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. So I wanted to tell you about 3 creepy books that I did not write that you might like to read as well. So the first one is a graphic novel called My Video Game Ate My Homework by Dustin Henson that just came out, and it's really cool. It's got lots of cool images, lots of cool pictures, and it's just great. It's a really fun read. And the second one is City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. And the second book in this series has come out, and it's awesome. It's about a girl who can see dead people. And I would hold up the third book, but I actually have loaned it to one of my grandkids right now, and so I don't have it with me. And it is a series that the last book just came out of, called Potion Masters by Frank Cole, about these kids who can make amazing potions and people who want to steal them from them, and there's lots of cool battles and things. So anyhow, these are some great books. I hope you like them. I hope you like my Case File 13 series. And now I have to go because I have a sudden craving for brains. Thanks.